By Grungni's beard, that's an insult. That can only be repaid in kind. Die, you Wazak. I don't even know what that means, but apparently it's what they used to introduce the dwarves in Total War Warhammer. What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. I had to throw in a little something that maybe Warhammer fans might recognize, I guess. I don't know, it looks like a quote or something. Not that I know who said it. We're going to talk about Warhammer today, and I'm just going to go ahead and preface this. Anybody who's tuning in, I'm a Total War guy, not a Warhammer guy. Now, I'm going to become partly a Warhammer guy, I guess, because it's in Total War. I don't plan on going out and getting the tabletop game or playing it or learning it or probably reading into it a whole lot, but I'll learn what I can from the game. And I think this video, though, will be good because there's a lot of you who aren't Warhammer people, and there's nothing wrong if you are. I'm just saying there's a lot of us who aren't, and there's a lot of those people who, like myself, when they first saw this game, like, a little bit different. Not sure what to think of this. Some people were adamantly opposed. Personally, I was kind of interested to see how it turns out. And the Creative Assembly was kind enough to allow myself, and I actually got to bring Mrs. there with me too, which was fun. She just had her wisdom teeth out and doesn't really want to be on camera, or else I'd get some impressions from her too, because I figured you all would enjoy that. But yeah, I got to take her with me, went to San Francisco. The Creative Assembly, very gracious, allowed us to come get to see a demo of the game and actually get hands-on with it. So I've got some feedback for you about being hands-on with the demo, and I'll give you my thoughts about it and kind of just what I could glean from the demo. A couple things to keep in mind. They let us get hands-on with this build, this demo, and I think they'll be showing it off probably, it looks like, at EGX, because that's what it says on some of this paperwork they gave me. I'm not real familiar with all those details, so if you're going to that, you'll get a chance to see it. But in any case, and I'll tell you more about the battle in a minute, but yeah, so I tried to go in, play through this battle as many times as I had the chance to while I was there, get a feel for it, see what I like about the game. I'm going to be able to tell you what my experience was like as someone who's not into Warhammer, but someone who likes Total War. And then those of you who like Warhammer, you'll like this because you'll get to see probably some familiar stuff as far as what you're going to see in the clips. So I do have some footage for you from the battle. This is not me playing, but it's some B-roll footage that Creative Assembly shared with us. I did get to play the battle both on easy and on hard, and I'll give some feedback on both. I tried to look at what the AI did in response to how I played. We'll talk about that a little. And we'll talk a little bit about the mechanics that I saw while I was playing the game, the graphics, and just the overall playability and fun. Again, bear in mind, Creative Assembly tells me this is a pre-alpha. It was just a build with just this demo. It wasn't a full game that we were messing with. So I can only tell you what I got to see, but that's what I'm happy to share with you. So we'll make what conclusions we can, and there's some things we're just going to have to wait till the game comes out. Overall, though, I can go ahead and preface the video and say my experience was very good with the game, but we'll cover some details. Let's kick it off with a little bit of footage. Splice in the B-roll. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That is some footage from the ambush at Thundering Falls, where the player gets to play, and I got to get the name right. You're playing as the High King Thorgrim Grudgebearer. Yes, sorry if I don't pronounce it right. Warhammer's not my thing. So anyway, it's a dwarf expeditionary force. Looks like from Karaz Akarak, or whatever that is. And it's being led by Thorgrim Grudgebearer. And you actually get to use him in the battle, as well as some other, there's another famous dwarf that's there again. I'm not going to be great with the games, but let me just kind of read you the background to it so you know what the battle's about. And it says that Thorgrim himself must make haste through the underway. If the goblins were of a mind to halt the High King's army, Thundering Falls would be a good place for the ambush. Fortunately, the Everpeak Air Corps is on its way to provide air cover, but falling rocks have delayed their departure. So that's the setup. You got this dwarven army trying to make its way through the underway. They're going to get ambushed by the greenskins here. The goblins, I guess. I think they're called greenskins. If I get it wrong, I apologize. I'm not into this whole deal. I'm doing my best. So let me cover some of the key units that you're going to see in this footage, and I will do my best to talk a little bit about each of them. You have High King Thorgrim Grudgebearer. He's the leader of the dwarves. You have Valor Mineward. He's Dwarfen Thane, a hero character. So it's a powerful melee warrior with a charge ability. And they also tell me that this particular character will be an agent on the campaign map, but you can use your agents from the campaign map actually in the battle, which is really cool. Nice addition. Also present are some Slayers. These were some cool units. They are twin axe wielding ginger berserkers, I guess, sporting the red beards. And they are unbreakable. They'll fight to the death, and they seek combat against the big opponents, the big nasties. And they were pretty fun to use against some of the big dudes. They had a flame cannon, so it fires this high-pressure projectile of hot oil and molten tar. Very cool-looking, neat unit. Iron Drakes. Personally, this was one of my favorite units that I ran into. They're like a flamethrower, and they were fun. Man, they would rip apart infantry something fierce. It was great. Gyrocopters were also really cool, and I know some of you are very interested to hear about gyrocopters. We'll talk about them. That was some of the key units that you're going to see in the battle. Just to make sure I cover everything, there was also, let's see, Longbeards with great weapons, Organ Gun, Quarrelers, which are a crossbow, Thunderers, which are like a black powder rifle. Now, on the side of the greenskins, you had Knobnail's Backbiter, the Goblin Great Shaman on Giant Wolf. So he was riding around on this big wolf. It was pretty cool. You had the Arachnarok Spider. Now this big nasty thing came after you like crazy, and he would rip you apart if you weren't careful. Doom Diver Catapults, which were very cool looking. Forest Goblin Spider Riders, which were also very fast and fun to face. A Giant in the hard mode, and boy, he was something else too. Goblin Archers, Goblin Great Shaman on Wolf, Goblin Spearmen, Goblin Wolf Riders with Spears, Orc Boar Boy Biggins. I like that name. Biggins. I can handle that. I'm from the south. And then Trolls. The Trolls were particularly cool too, watching them vomit up bile on your units. So that was some of the units. Let's get a little more footage in here for you. I'll get you another peek at this. So let's talk about some of the units. And what my impressions of them were. First of all, the Iron Drakes, because they were one of my favorites. They were a specialty unit to be used against infantry. Sorry, the little light going on my face there. So yeah, flamethrower unit, good versus infantry, probably weak to any cavalry or anything else that's coming in. That was their purpose, and they were really good at it. However, friendly fire was real, and you could burn the crud out of your own guys if you weren't careful. But yeah, that's what the Iron Drakes were for. They were very effective at it. I found myself liking to get these guys out on the flank, shoot flames in from the side, but you had to be careful. The AI was actually really on point about making sure that its Spider Riders would get straight into your missile units. So you had to really protect your missile units. They would ride around the side of you and just berserk right into your missile units and try and get them, especially when you're on the hard mode. Iron Drakes were certainly a cool unit. Another unit that I really thought was cool, and let me make sure I get the name right, we'll scroll down to it, was the Gyrocopters. The Gyrocopters were wicked. Now some of you are probably thinking, oh, yeah, these things are going to be like OP, they're going to have like steam machine guns and roll in and just bomb the snot out of everything. They did have bombs, and they did have steam guns on the front, and they were fast. Whenever they were not in use, they would hover in place, just to kind of give you an idea of how they handled themselves on the battlefield. They could be shot at by enemy archers or other missile trajectory type or missile projectiles that the enemy had, and they were killable. If you left them untended, the goblin archers would shoot them down over time. My personal favorite use for the gyrocopters was you would get the greenskins all blobbed up, fly in, shooting them from the front, drop your bombs on them as you went over, and then fling around and come in behind them and keep shooting them while I would keep them busy with some infantry or something from the front. So Gyrocopters, definitely a cool unit. A lot of fun to play with. The dwarfs do not have cavalry, so it was really one of the few fast units that you had. I want to talk about, because I could talk about a lot of them. There was a lot of them that were a lot of fun. Was the oh crap, I'm gonna get it. get it wrong. The Slayers. Yeah, so the Slayers were these dual-wielding axe dwarves that were meant to be used against epic enemies like the Giant or the Trolls or the Arachnarok Spider. That's where they do best, is fighting against these massive enemies. And it was really cool in the sense that the enemy would come at you with these huge monsters, and you'll see them in the video, and they would freaking wreck your troops if you weren't careful. So you would have to focus fire and then use these Slayers to pin them down. The Slayers were big, tough units. They had this bonus versus the big units, and they would do great if you'd get them in there versus the big nasty. So it's kind of neat. The game had, you know, I hate to use the word rock, paper, scissors because it's pretty simple, but it has a clear feel to it when I was playing, and it didn't take me long to pick up on, which was nice because I'm not a Warhammer guy. So playing it, it was pretty easy to figure out, okay, this unit is good versus like enemy hero units. This is a range unit. It's going to be good versus infantry. This flamethrower unit's good versus infantry and was it trolls? Yeah, and trolls or something like that. It was pretty simple to figure out, and it was nice because it made the game playable and fun. So it was fun to kind of figure out which units were good for what and then to use them for that. So definitely fun.
Get your beans, spun around!
Let's talk a little bit about mechanics that I noticed. Now again, this is a pre-alpha and it was on a demo only, so this is all I could glean from what I was looking at. Mechanics wise, this game was playing pretty nice. Well, Air, what are you basing that on? Well, we all know that in Attila and Rome 2, you would a lot of times see some blobbing up whenever units would charge into each other. They'd charge and the units in back would just keep going. You'd end up with this big nasty blob. And in Attila, it was still there. It was there in Rome 2. They kind of made it a little better, but it never really went away. I didn't see that happening in this demo. You'd slam two units into each other, and they just didn't get in this big, nasty, compressed blob. They did a better job about kind of hanging on to formation and colliding with each other. And one of the big mechanics that's changed that I noticed, the 1v1 animations. You will occasionally see some animations that kind of look 1v1, but it didn't appear that this was running 1v1 animations like Attila, where you'll see two units come up and they like have to force themselves into each other so that they can go into one-on-one, and it creates like this weird sliding kind of scooting effect with your units. And you just didn't get that. The guys would run up to each other, and it was more like Medieval 2 and Rome 1, where the units would run into each other, and the guys would just start wailing on each other. Like they didn't care if it was one-on-one or whatever it was. The mechanics seemed much more fluid, much better looking. The collisions looked better. I was excited. Again, this is pre-release, and I only got to spend like an hour on this, but that's what it looked like, and it was very exciting to see. Very nice looking change. One of the other things that I noticed whenever I was playing mechanics-wise was the health. The health is different. It looked like rather than having individual health on the little dudes, and maybe they do, there's a unit health bar, and you can see it if you watch the videos, like the clips of the B-roll that I put up. Look for that unit health bar, and so for instance for the hero units, they would have a big hero health bar, but like one guy. So that one guy had all that health. So you can't just one-shot Thorgrim Grudgebearer with a Doom Diver catapult and he's gone. So no, there had to be the health had to be chipped away. So that's kind of how the giant units or the hero units play in. They have a ton of health. It's only one guy, but they have a strong attack usually, and they have a lot more health. And you can kind of see, again, that unit health, and I just really liked the way it played out better than what I was seeing in Rome 2 and Attila, so that was also a very positive change in my mind. So one other thing that I wanted to talk about was the graphics and the immersion. The graphics looked nice. They generally always do look nice in these demos. I mean, because a game company is not going to show off something that doesn't look good. I mean, duh, I wouldn't either. So the graphics looked good. The sound was good. The sounds kind of put you in the mood. You'll be able to hear it. I liked the music. The scenery was cool. It was interesting fighting in a cavern. Like, you've never seen something like that before in Total War. It was exciting. It was different. The spiders and all this stuff were coming up from the sides of the map, and they could come in behind you, and it was just neat. You couldn't just run around and camp in the forest or whatever. It was fun. Really excited about the possibilities that this opens up. I mean, you're going to see dwarves in the campaign being able to move underground. How cool is that? Being able to fight in these caverns and caves, and I mean, it's pretty neat, folks. This opens up a lot of possibilities too. Think how some of these mechanics might play into future Total War games that are history-based too. So very excited about what I was seeing there. The game looked good. It was fun. It felt like I was playing in a fun fantasy land. And again, I'm not even a Warhammer fan, and I enjoyed it thoroughly as far as the immersion and the looks of the game. So overall, my opinion of this was very high. I got to see Rome 2 and Attila both before release, and this one was feeling and playing better. I liked it. I don't know this for sure because, again, I have not played the whole game, and this is a pre-alpha. I just know that I was impressed with what I had in my hands at this demo. It was great. You can tell the people from CA who were there are very concerned about making it good. They were constantly asking myself and PrinceofMacedon and Angry Joe and Oakley, High Def. They were asking us, what would you all like to see? What did you think about it? And they're really kind of getting some feedback from us, and it was definitely good. I like to see that. The game looked good. It was fun. I have never messed with anything Warhammer in my life and don't want to, and I thoroughly enjoyed this demo, and I would love to have a copy of the game right now. I'm excited. Is it right for you? I don't know. I guess you're going to have to find out, but I'll keep telling you about it. And right now, though, I'm pumped. I'm hyped. CA's got me excited for this. Definitely ready to take on some Warhammer, and that's saying something in my mind because, like I said, I'm not a Warhammer fan. I may be, though, once it comes out in this Total War game. Not necessarily meaning I'm going to the board game again, but just saying, or the tabletop. It's fun, and I look forward to it. Hope this gave you some insight into what I got to do. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try and answer them as best I can. I'm going to be pretty busy the next few days. Got a little bit of travel coming up, but I will keep an eye on the comments, and eventually I'll try and get back to you. So if you have any questions, leave them down there. If I can tell you the answer, I will. I did ask Creative Assembly several questions. Some they could answer, some they couldn't. They really couldn't speak to me much about the campaign yet, or multiplayer, or the other factions, really. So I don't have the answers to all those questions. I asked them. If they could tell me something about it, then it's not stuff they're ready to release yet, so I can't in good faith do that. But yeah, I can tell you anything that they released to us, and like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited about Warhammer. One last thing, too, though. While I was there, I got to meet Oakley High Def for the first time, which was really cool, and PrinceofMacedon was there again. I've gotten to meet him once before also, and I was excited to see both of them. Had a great time. Go up to the description up above, or down below, sorry, down below, I was thinking about the comments, and check out the links. Go to their channel and see their video they put up about this. No doubt they'll do a great job. Oakley had a bunch of these cool little figurines and stuff. He actually went and bought a bunch of Warhammer figurines. PrinceofMacedon and I even signed a couple, and Angry Joe even signed a couple, if you all are Angry Joe fans. So you should go check it out. He might be giving some of those away from what I hear. Better go look. They were pretty sweet figures. In any case, had a fun time with them. Great guys, great YouTubers. It was fun to get to meet them. Oakley High Def's a cool guy, so enthusiastic about Warhammer and Total War in general. And PrinceofMacedon's always a lot of fun too. I know that a lot of you guys, I don't know where everybody's gotten this idea that he's just like some mean guy or something that's blocking everybody. He's really nice. I know some of you say like, oh, I did this mean stuff. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you all made him mad or something, but he's really a great guy. Every time I meet him and hang out with him, I love it. He's a lot of fun, and obviously he was the inspiration for me getting on YouTube, so definitely always fun to go meet him and get to spend some time with him. Anyway, go check out their videos. They've got some good stuff. You need to go look at it. HeirofCarthage, signing off. I'll see you all soon with more Warhammer info as soon as I have it.